All right, I'm gonna start off with a really sad story, but it's gonna start to make sense. Back around the 1300s in the Joseon dynasty, this is one of the Korean kingdoms that existed before South and North Korea. There was actually a caste system, okay, where the bottom were the slaves and the highest were the royalty. I'm sure you guys know of this, right? Slaves didn't know how to read, but they were actually forced to give information to the servants, which then would turn it to the masters, right? Servants, therefore, were centralized in their information to the masters. Let's say, for example, slaves are like smart contracts, right? And the servants that actually, relay the information are the oracle solutions, okay? Now, slaves wanted to revolt, but they didn't know how to actually write and read. So what did they do? They got the servants, or, quote unquote, the middleman, who they thought were their friends, so they actually could write the letters for them. But the servants wrote completely different letters than what the slaves wanted, right? They actually warned the masters. And then, of course, the result in this situation is that the smart contracts, or the slaves, failed due to inaccurate real world data, right? The real world data was the service themselves. And this is like similar to like a centralized information system. So due to centralized information that ended up with the team, it got them slaughtered, right? This is a very extreme version of like centralized information leading to the slaves being slaughtered or getting in trouble. But I will tell you guys that it's happening every day and current systems that we use right now. Centralized information and having the right answers to certain things is a huge problem when nobody else knows about it, right? So the answer to this problem is having something called a decentralized oracle solution. And this is in the same boat. The only difference is that, instead of communicating with the slaves themselves, you're communicating with computers and, data aggregators or oracle services. So in this video, we're going to be doing a price prediction of Chainlink. We're going to be going into the background of Chainlink. We're going to be going to on the protocol level so you understand what it is. We're going to, of course, talk about how much money you can turn $1,000 into with a Chainlink price prediction in about 2 to 3 years time. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video. And today we're talking about everybody's favorite coin, Chainlink. It's top 10 most frequently. Sometimes it even goes into top 5 on coinmarketcap.com. We're going to be going over the background in extreme detail I have never made before in any other video. We're going to be going over the fundamentals, the social media, the team, how this actual protocol works on a detailed level. And then, of course, we're going to be doing what you all came here for, is we're going to do a price prediction in the classic style of Alexander Lorenzo. Guys, if you want more price prediction videos, do us both a favor, hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell. You get videos like this all the time. I try to keep it down to earth. All we talk about is money-making opportunities. And if you appreciate that, again, do that subscribe thing that YouTubers tell you to do. All right, so let's go into the background. So Chainlink itself, Link is the ticker. They actually created the ICO originally in 2017. So it's an older project, right? They first raised $32 million in this ICO. Okay, so the supply is a total of 1 billion Link. So it's really important to understand, the supply, because as you guys know, supply versus demand, the lower the supply, the better it is for the appreciation of the asset, right? The coin distribution, I will admit, is a little bit skewed towards the creators. As you can see from the token sale terms, 35% is going to the node operators, 35% is sold to the public sale, and then 30% is going to the company for development. So the only problem I have here, I will admit, is that, again, 65% is going to the actual protocol, and there's not as much going to the people. I usually like to have like a 50-50, or in some cases, 60% going to the people. This product, Chainlink, was created by Sergey Nazaroff. He's actually a tech entrepreneur, and he created the website smartcontract.com. And I'm pretty sure from that website, it led him to create actual Chainlink in 2017, right? Now, the reason why this is needed is because before Chainlink, there is a couple of other oracle services, but Chainlink is obviously the biggest one. But before Chainlink, connecting real world data like the NASDAQ or the S&P 500, like the actual prices, we didn't have a way of doing it in a decentralized way. So if you were to get prices from, let's say, I don't know, Yahoo, Finance or something like that, it will be allocated to the blockchain, but it defeats the purpose of decentralization because that price feed can be manipulated by centralized authorities that we talked about in the beginning, right? Centralized entities can always manipulate the data as long as they have that central point of access. So what Chainlink is doing at a protocol level is acting as a secure middleware for smart contracts for outside sources of information. This contract actually provides reliable, tamper-proof inputs and outputs for complex smart contracts, connecting real-world data. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. The architecture as decentralized Oracle solution is what makes it desirable. So you have to understand that the only difference between this Oracle service and some type of other Oracle service is the fact that is decentralized. So meaning there's not one party that can dictate what data is being communicated. So this network specifically is built off independent node operators. This actually gives an advantage by offering unique integration. So the operators themselves are rewarded in link, and this is where the token comes into play, for honest and high quality work. And one thing I do want to put out, because I've seen a lot of scams in cryptocurrency, this project is actually being developed on a consistent basis. I've seen other projects die, because of developers or something like that. They just leave the project. This one is consistently being developed under active development, meaning it has room to grow. There's more advancements that will come out with Chainlink. We're going to, of course, explain how Chainlink works on a specific level. So let's just go specifically into nodes so you understand how that works. So just like Bitcoin or Ethereum, they have nodes, okay? And these nodes have registered job specifications. They execute their work in a coordinated fashion through an on-chain Oracle contracts, okay? They use link tokens as an incentive for the node to pay the operators to serve clients via the smart contracts, right? The Chainlink smart contracts. And there's 4 core aspects of an Oracle smart contract. We're gonna go through those. The first aspect controls which Chainlink nodes are allowed to fulfill job requests. So they actually pick the nodes themselves. The second aspect is that it serves as a gateway for client contracts to access the Chainlink network, right? So for actual clients, only certain people, if you're being malicious, they're not gonna allow you onto the actual node operation. Number 3, it relays the job executive results from the Chainlink network back to the Chainlink contract. And number 4, it actually locks up the Chainlink node operator. And if they do something like malicious and they try to finesse the network, it is used for punishment, and they actually slash their balances for poor performance. And then we go into the part where they actually communicate with the virtual machine. So number 5, the contract submits requests through the nodes by publishing an actual Ethereum virtual machine. And from these events, they broadcast client requests called Oracle requests. In the request, think of this like a kind of like a job application, because these people are applying to execute the work, right? The request actually contains important information like the job ID, the client payment amount, the client's desired job execution parameters, and then the callback address. So it's kind of like mail, right? Think about like a job application. You're applying to become a person that can execute the data aggregation. So we have the actual node side, and then we actually have the other part, which is the client side. So people actually buy the information, like exchanges. They want to know the prices of different cryptocurrencies. So in the case of Chainlink, I guess the biggest use case is taking the price of Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies and relaying it to everybody in a DeFi ecosystem. So think of this side as the client side, right? So there's an actual client side. These specific client side contracts can't interact with the outside world, but this is how it works. Smart contract needs external data, of course, right? The one that we were talking about. So number 1, smart contracts, they actually need external data because we just said, they don't communicate with anything else. Okay, so they actually broadcast the need for it via a transaction. The Chainlink nodes listens for the external data per request and obtain the data. And then the Chainlink node sends it out to the blockchain by calling the smart contract transaction. This is what we call a call request event response mechanism. And this is how the information is spread amongst the ecosystem and verified by the node operators. All right, now let's talk about the part that you guys are waiting for. Let's talk about, money, of course. So let's talk about the actual token itself. So it's an ERC20 token. It's under the Ethereum blockchain, and it's used for 2 reasons. It keeps node operators honest. Obviously, if they have their collateral locked up, if they do something malicious, they can get slashed, right? And it also is a payment method for the node operators to keep them in line as well. So they get incentivized for doing the right thing, and they get slashed for doing the wrong thing. So being that this is the most popular Oracle service, they definitely have, in my opinion, it's more reliable, okay? So as a person that wants to purchase Chainlink information or the Oracle service or the price feed and, the majority of the situations, they're the most trustworthy. They have the biggest network effects. They're worth the most by market cap. So this is why they've gotten so many partners, and they're able to partner with so many people in DeFi, as well as in some cases, big partnerships like Google. And then we'll talk about that, of course. And then one thing to note too, is that they have the first mover advantage. So let's go into the actual team. So we actually have experience from Cornell Tech. He's a professor at computer science. We have advisors from Zcash and Tezos. So we actually have a background of cryptocurrency startups. We have a DocuSign founder, so he knows how big organization runs. And then one of the most important, I think, they actually have an Ethereum community manager, so it knows everything about Ethereum. Being that this is an ERC20 token, that's extremely important. So the team is pretty world-class. Let's go into the social media. So if you look at Twitter, they actually follow my rule of engagement. They get about 1% engagement. Now, the engagement is made up of comments, likes, shares, any type of click action to their posts. I consider that engagement. So basically, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that are fake. They follow and meet the 1% rule. They get about 1% engagement in comparison to how many followers they have. So they do not have fake followers, okay? They actually have seriously thoughtful posts, and they're actually trying to educate people, and they do post 1 to 2 times a day. So this is a very, very strong social media. They have about 105,000 followers as of today's date, and I see them growing for sure. If you want to stay up to date with Chainlink announcements, definitely follow them on Twitter. Also, they have a blog. It provides, very detailed resources for looking more into this information if you guys want to get on a very detailed level with Chainlink. And they have educational pieces as well. Definitely follow their blog. Now, if you're really serious, you can go to their Discord, and they have a developer Discord, so you can see all the upgrades to Chainlink, right? And then, of course, they have like the regular links that you guys can look at for when it comes to social media, like Reddit, et cetera, et cetera. All right, let's talk about the early development of Chainlink, because I think it's really relevant. So originally, it was launched on the first marketplace for decentralized applications, which is called the Kaleido Marketplace. Now, if you don't understand what a blockchain marketplace is, it's basically a decentralized peer-to-peer network that directly connects consumers to sellers without any intermediary. And Kaleido happens to be the biggest major marketplace because it was the first one to create it. As for partnerships, I mean, the list is never ending. They have over 350 different partnerships, collaborations, and integration from, blockchain to real world, estates, guys. Like I'm talking about companies that are not in blockchain, which is very rare in this sector. Now, when it comes to partnerships, there's 2 really big ones I think everybody should be aware of. So in June 2019, Google Cloud actually partnered with Chainlink to connect to one of Google's most popular cloud services. Okay, so that's obviously the biggest one. It's one of the biggest reasons why I purchased Chainlink in the past. Now, the second partnership was in June 2020, so this is kind of recent. This was an integration with China's National Blockchain Service Network, okay? And they call it BSN. So this BSN is a blockchain infrastructure service layer supported by major Chinese organizations and companies. It's designed to provide a one-stop service for companies to access extremely low-cost blockchain cloud community services. So this is obviously a huge step for Chainlink. Now that you understand the partnerships, we actually have some news that are recently coming out. Okay, so they're actually currently, right now, Chainlink is working on a way of doing off-chain reporting. And now this is really important because right now it's really expensive to buy reports from Chainlink. Because you guys have to understand, Chainlink is an ERC20 token. So to buy their reports, you actually have to spend money on gas fees. And you guys all know that in DeFi, the gas fees can get crazy. So it's actually really expensive. And the fact that they're exploring off-chain solutions makes me feel like they're very serious because that's going to cut costs, of course. We see this with a lot of companies. The first one I've seen it for is 0x. 0x, they do off-chain solutions to increase transaction speed and lower the cost. So I do see this as a good step, right? Being that they don't have the off-chain solution right now, all the nodes have to perform the same task over and over again. So it's obviously a little bit inefficient. So this new update I think is really good. It will make the process of information much easier. We'll be able to access like cheaper projects and get more, of course, partnerships. But yeah, so I gave you enough information. You guys understand how Chainlink works. You understand what's going on. Let's jump into the actual price prediction. I'm going to jump into the screen now. All right, guys, so let's jump into the price prediction of Chainlink. So the classic style of all my price prediction videos, you guys know, I look at Bitcoin and Ethereum to make a prediction. I lean towards Ethereum because keep in mind, Chainlink is an ERC20 token. So we're going to be leaning on Ethereum's price prediction to make the Chainlink price prediction. You'll understand what I'm saying. If you want more in-depth price prediction models, go watch my other videos, my Ethereum price prediction videos and stuff like that. We look at how Ethereum could be $5,000 to $8,000 in the next 2 to 3 years' time. And I'll show you just a brief breakdown here because I want to save your guys' time. So basically, the first thing I want to look at is Bitcoin and logarithmic regression. This is a logarithmic regression band, basically predicting where the price of Bitcoin go. These are data science models. Again, I am not a data science expert. I'm just looking at what other people are doing, and I'm piggybacking off of their price predictions to make ours. Okay, of course, none of these price predictions are going to be on the ball. I just happen to make money on some of them. So that's why people watch my videos, of course. So as you can see here, they're looking at halvings in comparison. It looks like we should eclipse anywhere from, they're saying $70,000. This is a little bit old. This is even before Black Monday, but the vast majority of the ones that we've seen, they're looking at about $100,000. So we should eclipse about, and notice like this is saying $70,000, but it's going up above it a little bit more. So potentially around, some people are saying 67, but most people are saying 100,000. I just want to show you guys other, evidence, of course. You want to get your data from multiple pools and multiple different, you want to get your data from multiple pools and multiple different opinions. So another thing I noticed here, if you put in the search term Bitcoin, there's about 10 times more people than the last top. So if you look at right here, this is at 12, right? So this is the interest over time. It's not a specific number. It's just they range it as the best. The most interest would be 100. The least interest would be 0, right? So as you can see here, the last all-time high in 2014, we have about an interest of about 12 at its all-time high, okay? In 2017, when Bitcoin hit 20K, we had an interest of 100. So that's about a 10x difference, okay? Now just remember these numbers, right? So from 20K to 100K is about a 5x. There's about a 10x difference when it comes to interest over time. Okay, so let's look into more. So the stock to flow model is predicting Bitcoin to be anywhere from 100K to 250K, I believe. So as you can see here, it's going up above this red line. This is the prediction line. So if it goes up above, we should easily see this is 100K. We should easily see 100K. So the vast majority of predictions, and if we look into like stock to flow X, it's the same thing. They're saying 280K, 88K. So the vast majority of the predictions are going anywhere from 100K to 200 to 300K. Okay, so most of the time I just go at like a round even of about 150K. That's about the time I'm gonna start cashing out Bitcoin. And again, the reason why we're doing prediction models for Bitcoin is because that's where all the data science is. There's the most data points. Most people are using these, and these are probably gonna be the most accurate, okay? So now that you guys understand Bitcoin's growth, let me just look at one more chart. $100,000, this is a little bit old too. They're forecasting about the same thing. $100,000 Bitcoin close to 2022. I believe it's going to be a little bit quicker than that. It might be at the end of 2021, somewhere around there, but they're forecasting the same thing. Now, what I really want to show you guys, and I've made price prediction videos before, is Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum, this is the price right now, $591, but this is a historical snapshot to when Ethereum was actually at its all-time high. Okay, so Ethereum was at like about $1,400 at this time. This was January 2018. So if I come over here to Ethereum and we look at its all-time high, which is right about here, we look at the date, we're looking at January 14th, around there. It actually went up a little bit further. So we went to a historical snapshot of January 14th, 2018. So the one thing I want you to look at is right here, the top 5 position. So notice within the top 5 position, we have Cardano, Litecoin, and NEM. Okay, Cardano has $20 billion in the market cap. Litecoin, 13 billion. NEM, 12 billion. Now the reason why this is relevant is if we could look at like actual like top 10 today, Chainlink is always fluctuating 5 to 7, anywhere around here. And notice how the 4th place has 20 billion and then the 5th place has 5 billion. So more than likely, Chainlink might follow the route of Cardano and what it did in 2018, or the beginning of 2018 to end of 2017. That's what I think is going to happen. And I think, when we see altcoins pop and, cryptocurrencies taking off, Chainlink is going to take the top 5. So it's going to be, and it's done this before. We're not that far off. Like it's been playing around with the top 5 for a while now. So I believe it's going to take the top 5 because it's the actual product. Bitcoin Cash is just a fork of Bitcoin, and so is Litecoin. I mean, I think Chainlink could easily take these 2 positions. And we should see at least relative all-time high of, the history, right? So January 18th. So if we saw the prices increase, right, and Ethereum gets back to $1,400, we could see Cardano in the top 5 place. I think we could see Chainlink, not Cardano. We could see Chainlink, not Cardano, in the top 5 place with a market cap of about $20 billion. It's not too far off, okay? So from where Chainlink's price is today to the next all-time high, which is like $1,400 Ethereum, when it comes to Ethereum's sake, see how I'm doing this, guys? I'm kind of doing trickle-down economics. Chainlink should have an evaluation of about $20 billion in its market cap. So that means it's about a 4x, okay? 4x to Ethereum's next all-time high. Now look at Ethereum, okay? Ethereum's at $600. It would have to double. Chainlink would have to 4x, okay? Think about that. Now, let's do this for Chainlink. Let's dig a little bit deeper. So if you guys look at my Ethereum price prediction video, you guys can go watch that if you want to. I predicted Ethereum to be at a minimum of $5,000 and then a maximum of anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. So that means from its all-time high, it's about Bitcoin's gonna 5x. We always talk about how Bitcoin's gonna be $100,000. Its last all-time high was 20K. So from 20K to 100,000, that's a 5x. If it goes a little bit further, maybe a 6x, maybe Bitcoin goes to 200K, right? But that's probably like the max for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, it's a little bit different, right? So if Ethereum was at $1,400 and it goes to $8,000, it's about a 6 to 7x. So we have more multiples with Ethereum, and it's the same thing for Chainlink, okay? We're definitely going to have more multiples for Chainlink. So I assume this is all assumptions. This is all guessing. It's not even very specific. I am not a data science model expert or any way, shape, or form. I'm just giving you guys the growth potential of what could potentially happen. So if Ethereum is going to about 7x maybe, right? 7, maybe 6x, then I can confidently say that Chainlink's going to 8 to 10x, okay? Being that it will be the top 5. So if it does jump up, let's say hypothetically to the top 5 position, we're going to see about a 4x. And then if cryptocurrency reaches its all-time high in general, if Bitcoin hits 100K, 150K in general, and we're at like the super all-time high, you know, in 2 years from now, or whatever the case is, at the end of 2021 is when I'm making my prediction, right? Or the beginning of 2022 is when we'll see the top, right? Kind of similar to 2017, 2018. But if that ever happens and we're at the top, right? Then we should see about I would say just to be conservative, maybe an 8x. So a 4 plus an 8x, maybe a 9x, we see about a 14 to 15x for Chainlink. So let's do the math. If you invested $1,000 today, how much Chainlink would you get? So if I invested $1,000 today, let's divide it by $12.71. That's about 78 Chainlink. Okay, so if Chainlink hypothetically were to, I don't know, 14x, right? So then all you have to do is actually look at the price of Chainlink, multiply this by 14, or what you could also do is just take the $1,000 and multiply it by 14. So you put $1,000 in, multiply by 14, your $1,000 could potentially turn into $14,000. So notice, I want you guys to notice something. You know, the price prediction videos I've been making, some of them are like 32x, some of them are like, you know, less multiples. And the reason for it is because when you go higher in this coin market cap list here, if you go higher and higher, then it's actually less multiples. You make less money. So being that Chainlink is already up here, I've actually sold a lot of it already. I've sold like more than half of all my Chainlink. We called Chainlink very early on, guys. So the money-making potential is good still. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is that there's probably better money-making opportunities. So API 3 is another Oracle service that could potentially take the rank of other Oracle services. Oracle services, they haven't solved the decentralization problem yet. Doesn't mean that Chainlink is, you know, not going to solve it themselves. It's just that there's going to be competition that arises. And API 3 looks like the most promising competition I've seen so far. If you guys want me to make a full video on API 3, let me know in the comment section below. But that's it for this video, guys. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism, subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Catch you in the next one.